Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of most ages.
We are an uncensored comedy podcast.
Covering a wide variety of movies and film.
I'm Ace.
And I'm Con.
And I'm Droid.
And we are
Movies for the People. All right, so this week we went to go see the first Purge, which was... We'll cover it. And we went to go see Antman and Wasp.
Yeah.
Spoiler-free take on the first Purge. Droid, go.
Oh, man. All right, I was not excited for this just because I feel like The Purge is one of those movies where we could have just, stopped. 1 and 2 were a lot better than 3. Even though I haven't seen most of 3, but from all accounts, everybody I've heard it from, I'm just not I don't really care about the franchise anymore. It's honestly not that exciting to me. With this one, I was happy I didn't go in with good expectations because throughout the movie I was like, this is okay. I can enjoy this. But then there came the moment 2 hours later where we're sitting down at a fucking restaurant and we realized that it seemed okay, but the more we talked about it, the more we hated it.
Yeah. I kind of had the same feeling. I went in with no expectations, so I enjoyed my time in there, but the more we broke down the movie, it wasn't good. Yeah. And I think that the reason I enjoyed it a little bit was because all the actors gave really good performances and the characters were good, but the writing in this movie is just
doo-doo butter.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially, what was Yalan Noel, is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
Dimitri.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed his performance just because, you look at his you look at what he's been. He has not been in much at all. And he really killed it, I feel.
Yeah, I know you guys don't watch it, but I watch Insecure, and he does an amazing job on that, too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed him. It just... There was a lot of uselessness.
There was. It was just kind of a... I don't know. It almost felt more like a cash grab than anything.
Right.
But we'll dive into more of the problems with the movie when we go spoiler-filled review.
Definitely will.
But yeah, it just if you're a fan of the franchise, go see it. It delivers on the violence that you would expect from a Purge movie, but that's about it, honestly.
If you like the other ones, you'll probably like this one, unless you don't like black people.
And I mean, if you don't like black people, don't listen to the podcast, because guess what? It's 2/3 black, right?
Let me tell you something. If you don't like black people and you listen to this podcast, you keep listening. We'll take your racist dollars.
Yeah.
Oh,
we don't agree with your ideals, but we'll try and sway your opinion.
We'll sway your opinion.
Yeah.
We'll change some races.
I don't think we can change races. Did you say races or racists? Because it sounded like you said races.
Who knows what I said?
Yeah, we don't even know what you said. Because it really sounded like races.
Yeah, it was
racist.
You just really need to enunciate that T.
Yeah, the
racists.
T.
I'm from California. I don't finish my words.
Or enunciate.
Racist.
You're not getting it.
Nope, not getting you. Not delivering on the T.
I'm not going to change the way I talk to conform with you two.
You don't have to
They're
conform with
racist.
us. We're just trying to help you out because if racists are listening, maybe they think you're a dumbass. Maybe you look at maybe you're making black people look bad in their eyes right now.
Look at this dumb motherfucker. He can't even say racist.
That's
I knew
all
that
right.
it was stupid.
Those stupid motherfuckers that sat down in front of us made me feel ashamed for
Oh my
being
God.
white.
Every time a rap song came on, these kids just fucking lost it.
They just hit their little Fortnite dance. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Shoot.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, really? Who hatched these fuckers?
They didn't. I feel like they were under the viewing age for that movie, which doesn't surprise me.
They probably were,
I'm just
but
like, where the fuck are your parents? Go home.
yeah. Go play some Fortnite, you little douchebag.
I mean, honestly, they would have been better off playing Fortnite anyway.
Stay at home, fucking play Fortnite, you little shit stain. Save your little white boy fucking Fortnite dance for your little house, living in your parents' basement. Fuck you.
I feel like living in their parents' basement isn't a real good insult to them. They're like 15, 16.
Well,
Right.
they still don't have a future, though. They're going to be playing Fortnite for the next 10 years.
These
might be the
teenagers
next-
nowadays, they all seem like they got ADD or something. They're weird.
That's because you go anywhere and a doctor's like, ADD. ADD.
No, I don't think he's saying that. Like, it seems like they're all diagnosed with ADD. It's just like they have a shitty attention span.
Yeah, well, they do.
That's
They all
because
suck. Their parents failed them at taking them to movies and teaching them how to act in a theater.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough of those assholes ruining our movie.
There's enough, but you're still gonna get it. Just want
Yeah.
you to know. You know what's hilarious to me actually is that every time that happens, you guys get the shit end of it,
I know.
and I just don't really care.
Every fucking time.
I don't know why these little pieces of shit had to come in and sit right in front of us.
There's fucking
was-
12 people in the theater.
And it
And-
was a big
In
theater.
a fucking giant theater, and you cunts are going to come sit down right in fucking front of us?
Be on your phone.
Only time I ever like felt awkward like around that you were there when that little white girl was sitting next to me during Infinity War.
Yeah.
And she just started asking me questions after question, getting a
Yeah,
little
we
too
talked
friendly.
about that, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I can't talk to you. That's not safe for me.
Oh man.
How about some trailer talk for this week? Should we dive into that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't go see The Purge.
That's like I feel like that was so just decisive.
Don't. I mean, if you like the Purge movies, go see it. If you're just like, maybe I'll check this one out, don't. Save your money.
Yeah, there's a lot of other good shit. Go see Sicario.
Go see Sicario.
Go see Sicario. Go see Uncle
Antman
Drew.
and Wasp.
Ant-Man and Wasp.
Which we'll get into later, but
You can always go see Skycrapper here in like 5 days.
And if you're going to a blacker movie, and
what do you mean blacker? What is first off, what's in theaters right now that's blacker? Other
Superfly
than-
Uncle Drew, and what was the one we just saw? The Purge. If you're going to one of those movies and you live in a predominantly white area, don't sit by some white teenagers. They'll
Do
ruin the
not
movie
sit
experience.
by white
for you.
teenagers. Those fucks made me embarrassed to be white.
It's because they didn't grow up around black people. They don't have
damn.
black people to check them on that shit.
I kind of just feel like they don't respect black people. So they go into these movies and they're like, no one really cares about this. I'll just text and talk and be pieces of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking losers. Anyways, trailer talk though. What do you got for us this week, Ace?
What do I got?
Yeah, you always got gems for us, man.
Do I always got gems?
Always, man. You had King of Thieves last week?
Yeah, I gave a great description of that
I
one.
loved it, man. I'm excited for King of Thieves.
I am too. But this week I got Searching. And this trailer is kind of just showing it's got a John Cho. And he is Harold from Harold and Kumar, of course.
If y'all don't know who that is.
But it's kind of like a weird looking movie. It seems like the whole movie is going to take place on a computer screen. And you're watching like him live stream and recordings of himself. But his daughter goes missing and he's searching for his daughter who has gone missing, and he's, going through her laptop and finding all her friends. And it kind of just seems like a suspense thriller. It looks really, really good. I think his acting looks kind of top notch in this. He's giving a lot of emotion. It's got the chick from Will and Grace. I don't know her name.
Deborah Messing.
Is that it? Yeah, Deborah Messing. She's going to be playing a detective. Hopefully she'll do good. I don't know. She's Will and Grace, so haven't really seen her in much after that where she's just killed it. And I guess that's my trailer since no one else has anything to add in on the topic.
I think it looks good. I mean, I'm more convinced with his performance just in those trailers as a parent in dire need to find his daughter who went missing than I am of Gabrielle Union as a fucking parent and breaking in.
As soon as you said parent, I
Right.
knew you were going to Gabrielle Union. Leave that woman alone.
No, because she taught what was her face in first Purge?
Dolores?
Dolores. What an old man's ass tastes like.
Let me tell you something. At this point, the only way he's going to leave Gabrielle Union alone is if she leaves D Wade's ass alone.
And she ain't about to stop eating that booty.
Oh
I told my cousin that she didn't know that Gabrielle Union eats ass, and she was traumatized when I told her that shit.
But seriously though, I think the trailer looks pretty good. I don't know that I want to go see it necessarily. That will kind of depend on
what else is out?
what else is out. But I would not be opposed of seeing it at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably gonna have to see it at some point.
It looks like it comes out in August. There's not really a lot coming out in August.
You might have to see it.
We might just have to anyways.
I don't know. I just feel like it looks like it's gonna be a big hit or miss for me. It just looks weird. Like one of those where they're doing something different than most movies do, and hopefully it's good, but we don't really know yet. Like fucking Paranormal Activity. Like when they first did the whole fucking, like most of it was on the camera and shit, you know? That was way different than like most other movies.
No, well, I mean, Blair Witch Project did that first.
Well, I'm not saying like that was Blair Witch Project was Handycam. Paranormal Activity was like a camera that they set up. It wasn't like they were taking the camera around with them.
They were.
Not in Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, they would carry it around with them, and then they would set it up at certain points.
It was in the same area as most of the movie, though. Like you weren't getting the person's perspective from the camera. Like the people were in the shots.
It was a little bit different, but very similar.
Yeah, but like that was like they did something different, and it paid off for them. I mean, they could have stopped. I don't know if are we getting another Paranormal Activity?
I hope not.
I don't know, but
I've only seen, I think, one.
I've never seen any of them.
Maybe 2 and 3, and
I've seen the first 3.
they're not good.
But yeah, as far as searching goes, I think it's going to be one of those where it's like something different, and it might pay off, or it just turns out to be shitty, or it pays off and evolves into something shitty.
Yeah. We will find out. But what is your trailer?
My trailer is Mowgli, which is another retelling of the Jungle Book, but it's not Disney, which is really interesting to me. Just because I feel like when people think about the Jungle Book, everybody goes straight to Disney.
Right.
I mean, that's everything Disney's really ever done.
Yeah.
No one thinks of the original lore. Most
Yeah.
people are like, oh, the Disney version.
So this is supposed to be like a darker telling of the story. Mowgli is going to be played by Rohan Chand, who I don't really know, but I guess he was in Lone Survivor, Homeland, and Jack and Jill. He's 14, so he's, younger actor. I think a lot of younger actors don't really get that exposure until later on. They don't get those roles that really...
I think over the last couple years, younger actors have been getting a lot of exposure.
Yeah, but only in certain
you think about it. Just think about how many young actors we've seen in the last couple years. There's fucking all the Stranger Things kids.
right. But Stranger Things is fucking huge.
Exactly. There's the chick that we were just talking about that was in Transformers and Sicario.
Mm-hmm.
There's a...
But she was just a great fucking actress.
Yeah, there's a lot of
and
kids who are
Sicario was
doing
fucking huge as well.
great jobs.
The future is bright at this point.
Yeah. Okay, well, he hasn't been in much, so we'll see how he does. Andy Serkis is playing Baloo, so that'll be interesting.
Is he doing mocap for everything? I assume he's doing mocap for everything, and his voice will just be Baloo.
Yeah, probably.
Most likely.
Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be Shere Khan,
Oh,
which Christian Bale is going to be Bagheera, which is the is Bagheera like a
the panther.
jaguar? Panther. Here we go.
I think he's a panther
Okay,
or a jaguar. He's
but
black. I assume he's a panther.
and then Kate Blanchett's going to be Ka, like the python. Naomi Harris will be Raksha, so like the mother wolf.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they've got some good people in there. I think it'll be interesting. I haven't seen anybody for like King Louis, so I don't know if he's even gonna be a big part of it.
That's going to be tough. I feel like Christopher Walken did a great job.
Right.
as
Right.
King
Well, I
Louis.
mean, it was like perfect for him.
And Bill Murray.
But I guess King Louis, while he was kind of like a menacing character, was also very funny and
At least in our Disney version.
Right,
Because I feel
right.
like this is going to be more of true to the
right.
actual
No, what
lore.
I'm saying is it might be like, seeing as I still haven't found anybody for King Louis. I mean, I guess I'm going IMDb, but looking just at the cast list that I've found,
Or maybe King Louis is not even part of it.
that's what I'm saying. It might be hard for them to do King Louis in the context of this story. I don't know.
Maybe King Louis was never actually in the story.
That is also a possibility.
He seems kind of like a Disney thing that Disney would add.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, that's my trailer. I think it looks like it'll be good. There's one scene that I really liked actually with Shere Khan when he shows up, as he's like walking across this cliff. He's got one paw like faced, one paw straight walking. He's got his other paw just claws to the ground and sounds like knives just like as he's walking. I was like, this is gonna be like a menacing, like scary Shere Khan. Like Shere Khan's always been like a scary because he's a fucking tiger, but
I feel like what's his name did a really good job. I feel like he was pretty scary. Idris Elba, right?
Yeah.
He was pretty scary.
We'll see. I think it'll be good. It looks like it'll be good.
Well, Mr. Quiet Man over there, what's your
I'm excited for it. I just, anytime you can give me a story like that, I'm excited. And I'm not being quiet. I'm listening to the man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I get really annoyed when people interrupt me.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen much with you guys, but
I mean, I figure we're having a conversation.
yeah.
He was deep in his spiel, and I was taking in his knowledge that he was sharing.
You're acting real tea and crumpets over there.
Oh my god.
Thank you for having me, folks.
What is your trailer, Con?
My trailer is Teen Titans Go to the movies. It's going to be the best DC movie of the year.
Probably. It's going to be the best DC movie of the last few years.
Which is also true. They have Nick Cage doing the voice of Superman.
Great.
It took me a second. I was like, oh, really?
But he's also going to be in the Spider-Man movie later this year, too.
He is?
Oh, they said it was
Yeah.
going to be like, he's going to be another version of Spider-Man?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
So that'll
Nicolas
be...
Cage?
That's the one. So you finally got your Nick Cage Superman,
Good for you.
sort of.
It's not the one I wanted.
Nah, you go take
Have you
this.
seen the pictures of him? in
I
the
have
suit?
seen that, and I don't want to ever see that in reality.
Right.
It was perfect.
No, just take what you're getting and leave it alone. Accept it.
He was the best Superman.
This is a gift.
They have Will Arnett doing the voice of Slade, a bunch of other people.
Wasn't he Batman?
He was Lego Batman in the Lego Batman movie as well as Lego movie. So
Why'd they change Superman?
I don't know.
Because you asked for...
I like Channing Tatum as Superman.
Fuck Channing Tatum.
And I love Jonah Hill as Green Lantern.
Jimmy Kimmel does the voice of Batman in this one.
That sounds shitty.
Yeah, it does sound shitty.
Yeah.
That's okay
Why don't
though.
we just get Ellen DeGeneres to be Wonder Woman?
I feel like we can take shots at Gabrielle Union, but maybe not Ellen. Let's just not take shots at
Let me
Ellen.
tell you something. I love Ellen. Hilarious. She's an amazing, powerful woman
Yeah, which is
who's
why
done a
like,
lot for the gay community. But I don't want to see her as Wonder Woman. I don't think her wife Portia wants to see her as Wonder Woman.
Maybe she wants her to dress up as Wonder Woman. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in their home.
Yeah, that is true.
Maybe she's down for that.
It's just weird
That sounded
have-
tea and crumpety.
to have her as Wonder Woman. Oh, don't try and tea and crumpet me.
Oh,
Don't
I
try
already
and tea
did.
and crumpet me.
I just did.
I will never be tea and crumpets.
I know.
I'm always gonna be that nigga.
you could be a nigga, but you can't be that nigga.
I'm that nigga. You are too, though. We both them niggas.
Okay.
Anyway, that's my trailer. I'm excited for it. Teen Titans Go to the movies. I think it'll be fun. There'll be some laughs. It'll definitely be better than Breaking In.
What's it about? You didn't really explain it. We kind of got
It's
into
the Teen Titans. They go to the movies.
No, it's not that simple. Like the trailer like they're trying to get recognized. As
They want to get
actual
recognized.
heroes.
What it comes down to. They're just sidekicks. That's all they are, and that's what everybody labels them as sidekicks. They want to have a movie made about Robin, and Robin wants that, and nobody will do it because he's just a sidekick. So they want to go get an arch nemesis. So that's where they come across Slade, and they want to make Slade the arch nemesis, but he doesn't even want to fight a bunch of sidekicks because it's not worth his time.
Yeah.
What does he say when they're like, he's got like that giant robot? He's like, "What are you gonna do?" Fuck. What does he say?
Fart on me or
Shit on me.
I hear
bore
like
me to death.
Pour me to death. There's one bore me to death.
And
It's
then
like pancakes or something.
Throw your waffles at me or something, and then Cyborg just sliding his waffles off to the side.
I don't know. It looks like it'll be.
It
good.
looks fun.
It'll be fun. It'll
better
be
than the
entertaining.
show.
I mean, it's going to be, what is it? It's like 90 minutes or some shit like that, I suppose.
Probably.
Maybe if this does well enough, they can hit the bait and switch, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get another Teen Titans movie." But then they're like,
The conclusion.
"We're really gonna give you the end of the original show." That honestly, that'd make my fucking
cry.
decade. I'd probably cry too. Oh man, I miss Teen Titans. Not Teen Titans Go.
All right. I think that concludes trailer talk. All right, it's time for us to start getting into our spoiler-free review of Ant-Man
And the Wasp.
and the Wasp.
But nobody else. Just
Nobody else.
and Ghost. Bow.
Not a single damn person.
Fine. Fuck Hank Pym, but Hank Pym eventually. Fuck, I can't talk right now.
I think it was good. I enjoyed it. You know, it's been 2 years without Ant-Man
Right. Civil War.
since Civil War. We didn't really get to, like, I feel like there was no mention of him. We didn't really get any mention of him.
Yeah, there wasn't. That's why I was telling you last night. It shit got on my nerves. Like everybody else has, they always mention other people in the other movies, just even if it's just like a little thing. But we had no idea what was going on with him. Like he was in Civil War, and then no Ant-Man, and now he's
He
back.
got a name drop in Infinity War, and that was it.
Did he?
Yeah, there were like, there's an Ant-Man and a
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man.
No.
Oh, yeah. Why did he say that?
Because they were saying that Clint and Scott they cut the deal. And that was about it.
Oh.
That was literally the explanation as far as where Scott Lang was during the whole Infinity War, lead in and everything.
Well, I enjoyed it. I think this one really stepped it up from the first one as far as the fight scenes and stuff go.
Definitely. Action was definitely better.
I loved it. I thought it was fucking great. I would say that it might actually be better than the first one, and I really enjoyed the first one a lot.
I agree.
I feel comfortable with putting it in that rare category of better than the original.
I can get behind. I mean, full disclosure, I'm in that weird category of hasn't finished the last 20 minutes of the first movie. Jesus. I was watching it and I had to go to work and I just never came back to it and I could go watch it right now, but I haven't gotten around to it. That being said, I know what happens. I don't know, unless like me watching that is gonna fucking be like the greatest thing in the world. I think the first one is not as good.
What are your guys' thoughts on the villain?
See, I know you guys I liked her. I know you guys don't like her acting.
First off, don't give my opinion to the people without my consent.
It wasn't.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
It wasn't the acting that bothered me with Ghost. I really liked the character throughout the first half of the movie. Really, really liked her. Mm-hmm. Her fight scenes with Wasp, and then, they were just great.
Yeah.
The fucking scenes with her were just great. The way she was, phasing in and out and everything. And you ultimately get an explanation of why she is able to do that and whatever else. But I enjoyed her, for the first half of the movie. And I'll save my thoughts on the back half of the movie for our next segment when we go spoiler.
Yeah, well, I liked her. I didn't feel like her backstory was particularly powerful. I mean, we'll get into that, but I don't know. I hope they do more with her in the future. We'll see.
Maybe.
I feel like they will, at least in like the Antman movies. Mm-hmm. They will. But it was a great fucking movie. I recommend everybody go see it.
I like the scenes with his daughter as well. She's the world's greatest grandma. We'll explain that in the spoiler film.
His daughter did a really good job. That's another kid actor who I think she killed it.
Does she do much outside of these movies?
I don't know. I think she did a great job in this movie.
Right. Well,
and is it the same girl from the first movie? It's been a long time since I saw the first movie.
I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. No, I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm just saying a lot of them, I feel like, don't get very much exposure, like, as of late. I mean, I don't think kid actors really ever have, unless there's, like, a kid movie.
Unless you're fucking Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
I think that's why they don't get a lot of exposure, because they're fucking children, and
right.
It kind of ruins. Most of the kid actors who were huge turned out to be weirdos, so...
Everybody's a little weird.
Everybody is a little weird.
Most people are a lot of weird, but
yeah, as far as Ghost goes, I thought she was okay. I think she just was a typical villain. Like, there was nothing special about her. And I think she did a poor job of portraying a typical villain.
I disagree with you, but we'll go deeper when we go spoiler.
Let's fucking do it then. I love when you disagree with me.
I like it too. It makes for
here we fucking go.
Makes for some good conversing. But seriously though, people, go see the fucking movie. It's great. It's got comedy. It's got more Luis, Michael Pena's character.
He was hilarious.
Michael Pena killed it.
If you don't laugh during Michael Pena's scenes, you have a fucking problem.
I feel like Michael Pena has the perfect amount of screen time. Like,
He
I think
does.
if he had his own movies where it was just all Michael Pena,
Yeah, that would be too much.
he'd be too much.
Right.
He's what Melissa McCarthy should be.
Yeah. Yeah. I can get behind that completely. I completely agree with you.
Like, I've never been tired of seeing Michael Pena on the screen. He just has his little segments. He comes
Right.
out,
Right.
says some hilarious shit, and
He's kind of like a household name, at least a household face.
Yeah, definitely face. I don't know about name.
But you know him when you see him,
Right.
and he's always got a great amount of screen time that's just perfect for the characters that he's cast for.
Has he played any? Does he play? He has to have had a couple of serious roles.
I think he has. But
He was an FBI agent in Shooter with Wahlberg.
yeah, he has some serious roles, but they're not like big
No.
because he's hilarious. So the ones
Right.
where they really give him a bigger role, he's dominating on that shit.
Right.
But go see the movie. Go see it now. Go see it this weekend. Go see it every day between now and the weekend.
And clean your undercarriage.
Clean your undercarriage.
Oh my God,
That is
we
very
really-
necessary.
We'll get into that.
For reals though, go see it. That's my stance on the movie.
I say go see it too.
Absolutely.
You're not gonna be upset you spent your money on it.
I say go see it 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a special treat for you this evening. We are coming back at you with the much anticipated return of the great Ace Break.
Ace break.
Ace Break.
You say that, and I hear it like you're like, oh, it's so sweet, and I was like, oh, it's breaking. And in my head now, I'm just like, give me a break, give me a break, break me up a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Ace Break.
But I didn't want to say it loud because Kit Kat might be annoyed because they're so gotta be real quiet about it.
Ace Break. So what are you breaking down for us this week, the Ace?
Well, because, we're talking about Antman, a bug superhero, I thought it'd only be fair to break down the biggest superhero, the other bug superhero.
Another insect-based superhero who's bigger than Ant-Man?
Who
Well,
could this
this
be?
one is not an insect-based
Oh.
superhero because a spider is not an insect.
Oh, he's an arachnid.
Are you going for Spider-Man?
Spidey!
Spidey!
Your friendly neighborhood
Spider-Man.
motherfucker. Are you guys ready?
I'm fucking ready,
ready,
man.
yeah.
Break this shit down. Hit me with it.
All right, here we go. It's time for Spider-Man 1. The Sam Raimi one, of course. Not the other ones yet. Okay, so we start out. We've got Peter Parker. And guess what? He ain't got no daddy. He ain't got no mama. He got an uncle and an auntie. And that's Aunt May and Uncle Ben.
But who played Peter Parker?
Tobey Maguire.
Oh my goodness.
The best Peter Parker
Fuck you.
at the time.
The only Peter Parker at the time? Okay, whatever.
Moving on.
Exactly. And
We could have done
the
better.
best up until, a year ago. Or 2. But he, he's broke. He's a loser. He can't catch the bus. The girl of his dreams lives right next door. And you know who she's in love with?
Who?
Slade.
She's in love with Slade Wilson?
Ooh, shit.
Yep.
Some juicy shit.
That's like crossing streams there.
You know why I said that? Because I can't pronounce his real name, Joe Magnamolena. she's in love with him, Flash Thompson. And Peter's like, nah, I want me some of that redhead coochie. And so he's like, I'm going to just take pictures of her in the museum and maybe she'll love me. And let me tell you something, Peter, it didn't work. But you got bit and then you got buff. And then you didn't need your glasses no more. You go to school the next day, she falls over, you catch her, you catch all the milk and stuff. Supposedly that's real. I don't believe it. But then she's like, ooh, Peter, oh my God, I think I love you. And it just starts this relationship that gets crazy, guys. Just wait. But then Joe Magdalena, Slade, he sees Peter, you know, throwing stuff at his head like food, and he's like, no, I'm not going to let this nerd do that. So then he goes and fights him, and guess what happens?
What happens?
Peter beats his ass. He throws him across the room, and then Peter goes home, and his Uncle Ben is like, what are you doing? And he's like, he started it, and he's like, well, you sure as hell finished it. And then Peter's like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm going to go be a troubled teen. So he needs money to get a cool car to get the girl. And he goes and wrestles. But he don't tell nobody. So then he goes.
Who'd he wrestle?
He wrestled
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw.
Who played Bonesaw?
Was it Macho Man Randy Savage?
It was the Macho Man.
But how long was he in the ring?
He had to be in the ring for a minute.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. And guess what? He beat his ass in like a minute 30. And then they were like, you didn't stay in there, so you don't get the money. And he was like, what? And then that guy gets robbed, and Peter's like, I ain't helping you. You didn't pay me. And then guess what happened?
What happened?
That guy killed Uncle Ben.
No, not
And then
Uncle Ben.
The guy who was
Peter's
supposed to give
crying.
him money killed Uncle Ben?
No, the guy who robbed him.
Oh, okay.
And then Peter's crying, Uncle Ben's dying, and we're crying. It's crazy. And with great power comes great responsibility. And then Peter's like, I have to stop him. So then he chases him, and then he kills him. And then he's like, I can't kill people. And then he makes a suit, and he becomes the Spider Boy. But he's not a boy. He's a man, even though he's a boy. And his best friend is James Franco, who's supposed to also be a nerd like Peter, but he's awfully good looking, so I don't get it. And then James Franco's dad gets these weird powers, and he's a Green Goblin, and he's trying to get Mary Jane. And then Peter's on the ceiling, and blood drips, and Green Goblin's like, And he goes and tries to find Peter, but then he can't find him. Then he sees the blood, and then he knows who he is. So then they start fighting, and then they go into the room, and Peter gets the shit beat out of him. It's bad. And then James Franco finds out that Spider-Man killed his dad, but he doesn't know Peter's is Spider-Man. And then we get Spider-Man 2.
Wait, somebody told me he killed himself.
Hey, Peter killed him.
Peter did not kill him.
Peter killed him. He's a murderer. He's a cold-blooded murderer. Ask J. Jonah Jameson. Then we get Spider-Man 2. And in Spider-Man 2, Peter's a college student, but he's also a superhero. Oh no, that can't work out well.
Duality?
I don't know what that word means. So now he's failing all his classes, but he's also being a pizza boy who can't really do much. And he doesn't get his pizzas delivered, so he gets fired. And then there's an assignment he has to go do. So he meets with this fat guy, and this fat guy, he's a scientist, and he builds this machine, and then the machine kills his wife, and he has these tentacles, and he becomes Dr. Octopus.
Wait, they brought an octopus to the land and gave him a PhD?
No,
That's
the
crazy.
man has tentacles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
What
crazy.
was his name?
Octavius.
Otto?
Sure. And this whole thing was funded by James Franco. And James Franco is just a rich boy because his daddy's dead, so he's got all the money now. And he's
Wait,
making...
when did James Franco's dad die?
When he was Green Goblin. We've got into this.
Wait,
Pay
are you
Are you
attention.
talking about Harry Osborn, not James Franco?
He's James Franco.
Oh, see,
Okay,
I
now
missed
I get
something
it.
there.
Okay.
I missed something there.
You got to pay attention.
Damn,
this is going really quick.
Really quick.
Yeah.
But then, just wait. Octavius's wife is dead because there was a crazy thing from the experiment and glass hit her face and everybody was like, oh, no. And then he gets mad, so he tries to kill Spider-Man because he blames Spider-Man for ruining his experience or his experiment. And oh, my head hurts. Oh, this is a lot. But then, just wait. They go into fight, and they're at a bank, and he's holding Aunt May, and Aunt May's like, you motherfucker. And she hits him with her purse, but it does nothing because Aunt May is an old woman. So then he drops her, but Spider-Man saves her. And then they fight, and then he falls. And then they're like, oh no, that was a fight. And then it was just a battle, but the war was not over. And then more stuff happens. Peter goes to Mary Jane's play. I think I'm in the right one. Yeah.
Who was the guy taking tickets for the movie theater?
I don't know.
Bruce Campbell.
Sure. The guy who was supposed to play Woody Harrelson's place in Zombieland in the TV show.
Really?
Yeah. Part of the reason it looks shitty.
Don't fuck with Bruce Campbell like that.
Fuck Bruce Campbell.
On with your fucking ace break.
But then he goes to the play, and is this the one where she's in love with the astronaut?
She's in love with an astronaut.
Yeah. With J. Jonah Jameson's son.
He's an astronaut?
Yeah.
What?
I
don't know if you're acting surprised.
Kind of both.
Give me a second here. I'll answer your question.
Yeah, because this was the one with the wedding. Yeah, and Peter lives in the rundown apartment, and then there's like the hot chick that he lives with, but she's like, you know, weird, and he loves Mary Jane. I think.
I just don't remember Spider-Man 2.
There was a lot that went on. There were so many different stories. And then the guy was like, rent.
I remember the rent guy.
Yeah,
He was
his
the
daughter.
landlord. Oh yeah.
And she made him milk
They didn't
and
live
cookies?
together. Wasn't she like across the hallway?
Yeah.
She was really nice to him.
Yeah.
And then the guy was okay. I thought you meant they were like roommates. I was confused.
Oh, no.
I was like, I didn't know Mary Jane would allow that to happen, even if they were.
Oh, yeah, and Aunt May's broke. And she's going to lose the house. So then she starts to move, and there's a little boy. And then Peter loses his powers, which was a big part of this movie that I forgot. There's so many stories going on in Spider-Man 2.
He lost his powers?
I don't remember that. Like, seriously.
Yeah, remember he lost his powers. He went to jump, and then he fell into the trash can. He's walking, he's like, ow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but why?
Why did he lose his powers?
Because he was just all over the place. He had to do school. His Aunt May was broke. The love of his life was in love with somebody else.
He couldn't focus and he couldn't get it up.
Yeah, he had spider...
Erectile dysfunction.
But then...
Erectile dysfunction?
I like what you did there.
But then Doc Ock is like, things are getting crazy. So then he breaks a train track and sends a train loose. And Peter's like, no, I have to be Spider-Man. So then he gets his powers and he goes to stop the train.
Where'd he find him?
Where did he find what? His powers?
Powers.
In his penis.
In his underwear drawer?
Yeah.
Fuck, I thought they were going to be at a pawn shop or whatever.
And then he had to steal a suit from J. Jonah Jameson, and Jonah Jameson was like, you're a crook. And then he goes and he stops the train by using all of his force, and he dies a little bit inside. And then all the kids take off his mask, and they're like, he's just a boy, and he's fighting for us. And then the world cried. And then they're like, don't worry, Spidey, we'll keep your secret. And then they kept his secret because that never came to be anything.
Poor writing.
And then he fought Doc Ock. And guess what?
What happened?
Doc Ock came to, and he saved the day with Peter.
Wait, how did he save the day? What was?
He stopped the giant sun, and then he took it under the ocean.
They took the sun under the ocean? What?
The sun under the ocean. It was crazy.
Is that where SpongeBob lives?
Yep.
Oh,
And now he has a son?
Yep. You
That's
remember the
awesome.
episode where SpongeBob got a tan?
That's why.
Yep.
okay. He lives in a pineapple under the sea, but now there's a sun.
SpongeBob
Yeah,
SquarePants.
Makes sense.
And then that's the end of Spider-Man 2. She was about to get married, and then she was like, nah, I love Peter. So then she's running down the street in her wedding dress. Mary Jane, of course, this is who we're talking about. She's running down the street in her wedding dress, and people are like, look at this crazy bitch. But then she runs to Peter's house, and he's like, I love you, Mary Jane. She's like, I love you too, Peter, even though you're broke. And she found out that he was Spider-Man. And it was crazy.
That's
the
because
only
they
reason-
kissed.
No, they had kissed in the first one.
Yeah.
She was in love with Spider-Man.
Yeah. They kissed in the alley when he was upside down. He came drooping down, and
Yeah.
she lifted up the mask, and
They kissed,
they kissed.
Upside
and it became a huge phenomenon around the world.
Yeah.
that
And then
kiss.
in Spider-Man 2, when they kissed, that's when she connected the dots.
No, she connected the dots when he saved her. She wasn't completely sure. She just kind of knew.
The dots got connected with the kiss.
Okay, the dots got connected with the kiss.
On with your ace break, sir.
Well, now we're on to the best of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans.
Last night you were saying Spider-Man 2 is the best of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
It is.
Now it's Spider-Man 3?
It was a joke.
God, I
Of
hope it was a
course.
fucking joke.
We've got Spider-Man 3, and we've got the redhead from Jurassic World, even though this time she's blonde. She's Gwen Stacy.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yup.
And guess what she's doing? She's just being kind of a hoe who wants Spider-Man's dick. That's what she's doing. And then Mary Jane is like,
That's my dick.
yep. And then Peter, he's kind of being a hoe and kissing her in front of the whole world. And then Mary Jane is like,
That's because he slid down and kissed her the same way that
Yep.
he kissed Mary Jane in the first one.
Yep.
Same way.
Same way.
Spider-Man is a hoe.
He's a hoe.
You heard it here first.
PD.
Petey the hoe.
Petey the hoe. But, Spider-Man is just Spider-Man. He's on top of the world. He's got his own holiday. And
the
there's
key to the
one
city,
guy.
right?
Yeah, he got the key to the city. Which,
Opens every lock in the city.
everything, I guess. Even though it's huge.
He's a superhero. He can make it work.
But then there's someone who hates him. And he's competing with not just Spider-Man. He's competing with Peter Parker. And that man's name is Eddie Brock or Topher Grace.
Fuck Topher Grace.
And Topher Grace, he's doctoring pictures of Spider-Man. And Peter's like, no, this is my job. And then he tells that he's doctoring pictures. And then Topher Grace is like, I hate you. And he goes to the church to pray. And Peter takes off the black suit. Yeah, I skipped the whole story of him having a black suit. Oh, well. He takes off the black suit. And then Topher Grace gets the black suit dripped on him. And he becomes Venom. And then they fight. And so does Sandman.
You should really use air quotes when you say he becomes Venom.
He becomes Venom. And then they fight. And so is Sandman. And so is, guess who? James Franco. And James Franco is now a kind of Green Goblin, but he's like a kid goblin. It's shitty.
Did he bring his brother? I mean, I figure if he's mad that his dad's dead, he'd bring his brother. His brother'd be pissed off too.
He don't have a brother.
James Franco has a brother.
Franco has a brother.
Dave Franco.
Dave Franco? I'm pretty sure Dave Franco was like 10 at that point. You're going to bring a 10-year-old to fight a superhero?
Why not?
Some superheroes are 10.
Who?
Ben 10.
That's weird. He's a 10-year-old with the last name Tennyson, and he's got 10 aliens. That's a coincidence.
I know. I just so you skipped the part where Peter got the black suit, but why?
Why? Because he starts acting like a dick and weird, and he does shitty dances.
Why? Because you can tell by the way he used his walk, he's a woman's man.
But then they fight, and guess what?
What?
James Franco dies.
No. What?
Yep.
Not Harry Osborn.
And some reason Topher Grace doesn't. Oh, wait, no, he does. He jumps back in, and he dies too. And then Sandman fades away like the Marvel villains do in Infinity War.
Like sand, and he flies, and he's like...
That was a good sound effect. And then Spider-Man is, Spider-Man. And then they were supposed to be a Spider-Man 4, and then it never happened because Spider-Man 3 wasn't that good.
It sucked.
Wow.
So then we had to wait a few years, and then what happened?
Then we get angsty, skateboarding, really good-looking Spider-Man in Andrew Garfield. And he's skinny. He looks more like Spider-Man. He
was a great Spider-Man.
He was a pretty good Spider-Man. And how does his story go? Oh, he's just Peter Parker. It's kind of like the same exact story, except, when I said the whole great power comes great responsibility. Nope. There's some weird power and there's responsibility, and you got to mesh the two. No one knows what the fuck Uncle Ben was talking about in that one. And just replace Mary Jane with Gwen Stacy, played by Emma Stone. Yeah, that Emma Stone. I almost said Emma Watson. There's too many Emmas.
There's only 2 that matter. 3?
And instead of fighting Green Goblin, he fights Green Crocodile. And then that's Amazing Spider-Man. Yep. That's an Amazing Spider-Man.
That's not his name.
That's what I'm calling him. And then there's Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Wasn't he the lizard?
Green Crocodile. He ain't have an arm. But then there's Amazing Spider-Man 2. And we got Jamie Foxx. And he wants to blow Spider-Man. Full on.
To blow him.
And then one day he's like, I wonder if Spidey would ever let me. And then he's like, oh no. And he falls into a tank of eels. He becomes electric. And then James Franco character is now played by some weird looking ugly dude. Which, come on. You can't replace James Franco with a funny looking, like a dude who looks like the Brain from Pinky and the Brain. And then he becomes Green Goblin, and it's really shitty. And Gwen Stacy falls, and she gets caught by a hand web, and it snaps her back, and she hits her head on the ground, and she dies. And that's Amazing Spider-Man.
That did not sound amazing.
When you tell the story about Amazing Spider-Man, you make it sound like they're pretty shitty movies. And they weren't great by any stretch of the imagination, but you make it sound like they're fucking breaking in kind of terrible.
And then
we wait a few more years.
The gods in the UK birthed an amazing child. And he came to America, and he's like, I'm going to act.
Tom Holland.
And he was like, I'm going to be Spider-Man. And he learned to do backflips, and he became Spider-Man. Thank the Lord, Thanos.
The one true Petey?
The one true Petey.
The Spidey we never deserved?
Petey.
The Spidey we never deserved. No, the Spidey we never deserved never became Spider-Man. He was in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Donald Glover? Your PG lover?
Donald Glover.
I don't think we deserved either one of them.
But there's Tom Holland, and Tom Holland did a great fucking job.
Love him.
There's no Uncle Ben. There's just a hot-ass Aunt May and a fat friend named Ned.
Love Ned. Love
and then
Aunt May.
there's Flash Thompson, who's a little Mexican guy from the Grand Budapest. And he's like... and he's like, Penis Parker. And then we got Michael Keaton, and he's Batman, but he's not Batman anymore. He's a vulture, and he's selling alien parts illegally. And then Iron Man's like, "Here's a suit, kid," and the kid gets the suit, and he goes and he fights Batman. And guess what? He doesn't win. He would have got his ass whooped, but they crashed a fucking plane, and then he saves the Batman, and Batman's like, "I've always respected you, kid." And it was amazing. Batman and Spider-Man. And that was the movie.
I like it. That's good.
And that was the Ace Break.
MJ wasn't in that movie?
Who?
MJ.
No one gives a fuck about MJ in Homecoming.
Zendaya.
Man. Just stop caring about MJ.
Kirsten Dunst ruined me on MJ in the first place, so I'm good on MJ. If we never actually have an MJ in the Spider-Verse, I'm fine.
They've ruined me on all of Peter Parker's love interest.
So
You know who?
MJ
No,
and
you know who we
Stacy?
need? Catwoman. Or Catgirl. What is she?
Black Cat?
Black Cat. There we go.
That'd be good. I'd be good with that. So let's do a spoiler conversation of First Purge.
I don't like your little intros. You got to sound more confident.
There's nothing wrong with him saying it the way he said it.
It's the First Purge. I mean, it's not like we're, yay, let's talk about the First Purge.
That'd be fucking weird.
No, you'd be like, all right, now we're talking
I'd have
about
to
the
channel
first
my inner Skeletor for that one.
No.
Let's talk about our First Purge. You had a problem with the very first scene, so I want to hear
my
you say it,
God.
and I want to hear the impression you did of it.
What does he
right
say?
now.
What does he? Well, first off, when the first purge starts, first scene we get is this guy being interviewed, and he's like, "Do you feel aggression?" He's like, "Yeah," but like he does this whole like, ooh, he's got this really weird voice.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, how do you normally like handle? How do you channel it?" He's like, "I light up," but he like says it in a way.
Did he say light up or pipe up?
Pipe
Light
up.
up.
He says pipe up. There we go. But he says it like it's so loud and just like it was so hard to understand. Like it took
I
me
didn't
like
know what he said.
right. I had to think about it for a little bit. I was like, what the fuck is he saying? And I'm just like, please don't let this guy be important at all in this movie.
I just thought he said light up because he just really seemed like a fucking tweaker.
Yeah.
Well, he was talking about like what was it? What was he smoking? I don't remember what he smoked. Crack, probably.
Crack.
Crack.
That was a crackhead. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They called fucking. And then they like, I don't give the dude a normal name. Skeletor was annoying as fuck to hear.
Yeah.
I just fucking hated that character. But yeah, that's immediately I was like, please don't let this guy be important, and then he was.
And then he was, yeah. Ugh. That's what I thought of it. Where do you stand with the whole First Purge?
I thought it was a cinematic masterpiece.
Lies and deceit.
But I also light up.
It was for the people we do not endorse drug use.
No, I
Especially not
did.
crack. If you're going to use crack, get it together. Use some pure shit.
Come on, guys. Crack is whack. Don't do crack. You should just.
Everybody knows that normal cocaine is fine if you use it in high-income white neighborhoods.
Yeah. I thought it was a movie.
That it was.
It was
to see
actually
it.
a movie,
Like I
yes.
said, I think a lot of the actors did good at the roles they were supposed to do,
Yeah.
but the story just was full of a bunch of shit that didn't fucking matter.
Okay, so let's like take a second and talk about the shit that didn't matter. All right, so we have the mom and daughter, whose names I can't remember, the Hispanic ones.
Yeah.
I can't remember their names, but that's because they weren't that important.
They were irrelevant. Really.
Don't look that shit up, please. We're not looking shit up for this movie.
So we get these two people. They have like their whole introductory scene. They're going to the church so they can be safe for the night, which is honestly a horrible idea. Like, I get that you're staying. One of the biggest things they had, reason people stayed for the Purge is the government was offering $5,000 to the people who stayed on Staten Island,
right,
and more money to the people who participated in the Purge. So they stayed because they needed the money. But I just think that's a horrible idea to stay, knowing that people can do anything. Right. We get these two people that go to the church. You know, they talk to Naya, and what's the other lady's name? Dolores. Yeah, they talk to Naya and Dolores a little bit, and then that's all we get from them. And then
let me tell you guys something. Dolores was the best character to come from this movie, by the way.
She was.
I liked her until I was really annoyed at her at the very end. I just felt like she was talking too much when she was telling everybody to get out of the way. Like, oh, the big dog of something park.
Yeah.
That was like this.
But that fit. Like, that fit her character. I could see that character, the way she was talking the whole thing, doing that.
Yeah.
I just loved when she walked on the screen and she was like, this motherfucker don't fix shit anyways.
Right.
But how you doing today, Dolly? I love the way she just kept going from like sweet to just,
right.
Yeah, motherfucker.
So, like, we had those two who we didn't need. We had Skeletor, who was important, but only because he drove the plot. Like, what was the brother's name? Naya's brother. Isaiah. So, only reason Skeletor is important is because Isaiah's selling drugs on the corner for Dimitri. Dimitri doesn't know this because he's too high up on the chain of command to care about who's running corners for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Skeletor cuts him. And I still don't know how this fucker had a fucking razor blade in his mouth and was talking like he was with no fucking, like, I don't understand people.
Crack is a crazy drug.
But it wasn't even like it was just like, if you have a box cutter, it's just the razor that goes in that. Like, there's nothing stopping it from cutting you on the inside of your mouth. So that was just weird as fuck to me. So yeah, he cuts Isaiah, and Isaiah wasn't having that shit. You know, he goes and gets his little purge kit. They give him these contact lenses that record what's going on throughout the night. And he plans on, you know, trying to go kill Skeletor. So he stays on the island. And Naya stays on the island because she wants to help the people at the church. And, you know, there's this whole... We get all these moments of Isaiah, like, looking for Skeletor or whatever. But Isaiah could have stayed on the island without Skeletor driving him to do that. Like, he just didn't seem like a... He seemed like he would have done it anyway because he knows they need the money. So, like, Skeletor was a character that we really didn't care about. And then after he's gone for a while, because Naya comes to find Isaiah, and Skeletor is going to kill her, and Isaiah stabs him in the back, and they go, wait, we don't see Skeletor for another, like, 50 minutes. Right. And then they get back to their apartment, and the mom, the Hispanic mom, is like, oh, you know, what's his blood from? And they're like, oh, Isaiah cut himself. So at that point, I thought Skeletor was in the apartment. Right. You know? Agreed. Fast forward, and we get, like, the whole fucking government raid bullshit. And Skeletor runs in, killing people, and just gets blown. They just blow his fucking brains out. And it's like, that was a useless fucking character. Like, he didn't do anything for us. Right. So I was really annoyed by his character. I mean, the actor who played him, don't want to look up his name because I just want that character out of my head. He's a crazy motherfucker. He did good. I mean, he thoroughly creeped me out. I think that's the point.
My favorite character was Pussy Lips. There's some motherfucker with a mask. The mouth of the mask just looks like some loose pussy lips.
But that's another useless character because when
he was useless, yeah. They just showed him looking for Isaiah, and he never did anything.
Right, he doesn't even find him. We get a close up of this character coming around the corner in the dark. We see his face, and then we see him one more time, and nothing happens. There's no interaction with him or any other characters. He just passes around the corner, and him in the movie, period. So we don't use him.
They underutilize everything. It's
Pretty
a
much.
shitty movie.
It really is a shitty movie. Like we sat down and we started shooting the shit about this movie and kind of picking it apart. And when I initially walked out, I liked it. I didn't love it or anything like that, but we started just dissecting it, and I fucking don't like the movie. I mean, if you don't have Movie Pass, don't fucking pay to see this movie. Honestly, it's wait for it on fucking Netflix. I wouldn't even Redbox it for $1.
I mean, when I was going into it, I thought, okay, it could be an interesting concept. You know, they're going to show us how and why this all started.
Right. I thought that
didn't
for
tell us
sure
that
it
shit
was
at
going to
all.
be like 75% like background story of how the whole premises of the Purge came to be. And then it was going to be, you know, whatever, 25%, you know, actual Purge business, you know, and then,
it happened really fast.
you know, and then you find out like it was a success and there's going to be more or something like that, like a very small percentage. We got the story shoved down our throats in like the first 10 minutes. This is why we're doing it.
There was no story. It's just people rioting. They didn't tell us why they were rioting.
It was an incomplete story, but it was
the
shoved down
people-
our throats in a very fast fucking manner. We didn't get the background that you would expect from, you know, the fourth movie in the fucking franchise. That's the telling of how everything came to be. You just didn't get that. There was nothing.
They did tell us why they were rioting. They were very specific about why these people were rioting. It was specific facets of the economy that people were unhappy with.
Oh, yeah, because of the political parties and shit like that.
Yeah. So like,
But it happened in like a fucking 90-second window.
montage, yeah. It was-
You know,
What do those political parties do?
Well, it was everything that led up to the new founding fathers being in office and like promising that they would like fix the economy and all this shit. You know, property values were
And-
fucking.
Here's the thing, though, don't they? Like, doesn't it all work? I'm pretty sure in the other purges, like, because what's the order of these Purge movies?
like timeline wise.
Yeah,
Well, there's the first Purge, and then the other ones go in order, don't they? 1, 2, 3. Or are you talking year?
I think you want year, right? Like the timeline
Because they're
that they
sequential.
actually take place in.
are they?
Yeah.
Because I don't think 1 and 2. I don't know if that's because I don't know. I haven't seen 1, but 1 from what I saw of it looked like it was more futuristic.
The timeline runs from 2014 to 2040.
Okay, he is asking sequentially. 1 came before 2, right? Like story wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Where do they say that at?
Because the second one, he's trying to get revenge for them killing his son, right?
I mean,
Okay, the first Purge takes place March 21st, 2017.
okay.
And then it becomes the Purge. The Purge is March 21st of 2022.
The first Purge? Or like the
The
first Purge movie?
The Purge.
The Purge, yeah.
And then Resistance is 2023. Or the Purge Anarchy is.
Which is the second one, so it happens after the first one.
Right.
And then, so it goes from 2023 to 2040?
And then the final Purge, which I guess is election year, took place in 2040. And then the TV series that you learn about in the end credit scene.
Fuck that TV series, too.
I'm not watching it.
I'll watch it when it hits like Netflix or some bullshit like that. I just thought where to go. It doesn't have a specified year. It just says 2020 question mark sort of thing. so we don't have an actual year.
I don't remember
Possibly
the point I was
2024 or
going for
2025.
with the order of them. I don't even remember what I was talking about. But I don't remember what I was.
But
Well, anyway,
I mean, the story was just shit, in my opinion. It was just shit. It was very much a disappointment.
Yeah, you were talking about whether or not the new founding fathers actually changed the country for the better, whether the purge was working. That's what you were talking about.
So then, but it did.
It did to some degree, yes.
I mean, it makes sense anyways, because you're killing off a bunch of people.
But when you look at
which means
how,
new jobs every year.
You look at how the country looked in the first purge, and compare that to how the country looked in the other three films, it really did seem like it worked. It just morally,
right,
isn't right.
It's not right, and that's where the resistance really came into play and all that stuff in the other movies. From a total story aspect and everything, I mean, I don't know, it's okay, but the second one is still my favorite. Election year, it was okay. The Purge I thought was good because at the time it was kind of a neat concept.
right.
And this one, I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was just expecting too much from a fucking simple Purge movie. But when you start talking about the first Purge and how all that, I'm automatically assuming that it's going to be, a little bit more depth, a little bit more detail.
It wasn't interesting at all.
The story just sucked. The underutilization of a lot of the characters was just dumb.
There was some interesting political commentary in there.
I like the pussy grabber.
Yeah, that was
funny.
Well, see, I liked it, but I think the point was that you weren't supposed to like it because that shit's not right.
Right.
So I was like, that shit almost became a fucking rape scene.
Yeah.
So that I was uncomfortable with. But no, I
liked the
fact that we put
shot
it there. Right.
at our current president.
Right.
I don't like the concept of grabbing the pussy.
Right.
I like the shot taken at the president.
Right.
That was one of the creepiest motherfuckers. Just because he had that baby head that just kept like
it was crying,
every time he breathed.
It's just creepy.
That was.
But I also felt like their trailers gave away some key scenes and some key knowledge.
Right. Like we should not have known that the government was involved in. I mean, we knew the government was involved, but we should not have known that the government was sending people in to incite more violence.
It took away from the overall value of the movie.
Right.
As well as some of their scenes that they gave away, like the guy that jumps through the curtain with a machete.
Right.
I knew that was coming. So there was no factor. It was
just a question of when.
Yeah. And I feel like if you leave that part out of the trailer and I don't know what's coming, I'll probably jump.
Right.
I mean, I was just waiting for it.
Right.
I'm trying to think of it. There was a couple scenes where I actually jumped.
Well,
I think
I wasn't expecting
Skeletor's
stupid ass to be standing behind us.
Yeah, I jumped at that.
I'm not afraid to say it. I jumped. He spooked me.
He's
but
a
he was
scary
just a
looking
spooky motherfucker too, But I mean, the trailers gave away too much, and I hate when trailers give away too much.
Right.
It's a problem we have.
It is a problem we have because everybody wants a full-length trailer. I like teaser trailers. You can just give me fucking teaser trailers for all your fucking trailers. I don't need a full-length trailer for something.
I mean,
that's something I started doing with Marvel. I don't watch all their trailers anymore because they give away too fucking much.
If it's a movie that I know I'm going to see anyway, I'm okay with seeing the trailer just because, like with Infinity War, right? Everybody was super big waiting for them to finally drop that trailer. After most of us had seen somebody bootleg that shit from Comic-Con.
Right.
But I knew a lot of what was going to happen. I didn't know everything that was going to happen, but I was okay with the trailer at the end of the day because it was a good movie and they left out important shit. We didn't know that everybody was going to fucking turn to dust. Like, you know.
Right.
But this movie didn't really have much to offer outside of what we saw in the trailers. I mean, we get like a random... I mean, I appreciate a one-man army scene as much as anybody else. But when Dimitri's, you know, fighting his way up the apartment building through all these fucking mercenaries, and we're just like, what the fuck did this dude do before he was a drug dealer? By the way, we had this conversation last night. Hollywood just really seems to be up in their drug dealer game lately.
They are. They're making drug dealers into these kung fu motherfuckers.
Martial artists, sharpshooters.
Right.
I don't like what you're doing, Hollywood. You need to chill out because you're going to have a bunch of kung fu action drug dealers running around.
But that was another thing that bothered me. It was like, he's just ripping through this building, taking on all these fucking mercs.
Right.
Even earlier on when he fucking got hit by that burning van and
he
rolled
snapped
over.
that dude's neck.
He just went up and snapped that motherfucker's neck, and then just like pop, took out everybody that was there.
Right.
What did this guy do prior to being a fucking drug dealer?
I know.
Because the way he was moving and acting and shit,
He belonged in Sicario.
that shit is some special forces shit.
Right.
You know, and this guy, he's just like ripping through the building. He couple guys, 3 guys, whatever, like pop up on him when he's heading up the stairs, and the little fucking fight scene there is just like,
right. But
what the fuck?
He has all of that, and then towards the end, when they're trapped in the apartment, and Ace brought this up last night, they like have this fucking explode, like a remote explosive with a detonator.
Yeah.
And they throw it into the hallway. I don't know why he's sitting here with the mirror watching them load an RPG.
Right.
For way too long.
Way
Like-
too fucking long.
And
Like-
you have Naya throw this explosive. Where the fuck did the remote detonator go?
And she threw it like 5 fucking feet away.
Right, and his whole
It
plan
was
is
the worst throw I've ever seen.
It makes the fucking comment she throws like a girl not look so shitty towards fucking women. It was a really fucking bad throw.
She
fucking
threw like a
5-year-old.
toddler.
My 5-year-old can throw the ball fucking further than that.
like that was like a 20-foot hallway. This thing weighs maybe 5 pounds, and she didn't get it halfway down that hallway.
Right. Fucking ridiculous.
And
But then
the fact that he couldn't fucking shoot
he
it.
couldn't shoot it. He shot at it fucking 3 times?
Yeah.
Twice. It was just twice.
No,
twice?
he missed twice and got it on the 3rd.
He only missed once.
No, he missed twice. He missed high, he missed low, and then he got it.
Regardless, the fact that he couldn't hit it on the first go after he's been mowing through these highly trained
Mowing through them.
fucking, agents trying to get in his buildings, like, what the fuck? I mean, I guess we give him, okay, he's shooting around the corner.
But he really wasn't shooting around the corner.
Right.
He was like...
He had no one shooting at him.
He's in a high stress situation, I
because of
guess.
the hero of the story, Skeletor.
Yeah. I mean, it just... Even when you go back to the crash scene where he rolled out and then he kind of like crawled out of the vehicle before it blows up or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, he snaps to one guy's neck. He picks up his fucking gun. And with supreme accuracy and just calmness after being fucking rolled in a vehicle, he fires like fucking 4 rounds with supreme accuracy and fucking drops those guys.
Right.
No problem at all whatsoever.
And that's just like I get that he lives a potentially violent lifestyle. Like he's got like what was the girl's name that was like his let's say like his third in command.
You're talking
Stop.
about the
What did I say? We're not looking shit up. The
Blaze.
chick with the...
Blaze.
Blaze. I mean, clearly, like, she knew what she was doing. She beat the shit out of that one guy with the fucking club or whatever she had,
She was just a badass with her fucking blades, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to... Like, it was really easy to accept it in Superfly because we see the training that we see, he's like been training jujitsu, and they go to the firing range. This stuff makes sense. This, we don't get that.
No, all we saw him was running on a fucking treadmill in the fucking first scene we get him in.
Right.
That's it. He's running on a treadmill. If running on a treadmill is going to make me a fucking marksman, I'm going to buy a treadmill.
Are you though?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You can't even do your rundown. You're not getting a treadmill.
The people can't see this, but I am flipping Ace off right now.
I can see it. He is.
He is.
I think so. I think that's what we have to say about the first Purge. Don't go see it.
Yeah, don't go see it. Fuck that movie. We're done talking about it. Let's get on to a better movie. Antman and Wasp.
It's
No,
one thing
stop.
if
Stop.
you're
We're
a
done.
fan of the franchise and you want to see it, go see it. But honestly, Netflix that shit.
See, now I have a problem because I'm seeing things from the movie and getting pissed off about them, like those
Yeah.
old ladies.
All right, guys. It's time for us to get into our spoiler review of Antman and Wasp.
What'd you think, Droid? Droidy McDroid.
I thought it was great. Yeah. So, we had this weird 2-year window. Like he's trying to get out of house arrest by, staying at home. He's finally building a good relationship with his daughter. He hasn't talked to Hank or his daughter in that time frame, and he's not allowed to because it was their tech that got, that he used to play a big role in Civil War.
Right.
And I think I enjoyed that. Like, just starting out, I enjoyed it more than the first one. Because the first one, I get, it was him getting out of jail and, trying to get back into society. But, this is more about him trying to get his life together, and showing us a little bit of the progress that he's made in that. So, he's got a really good relationship with his daughter. She knows he's Antman, unlike everybody else. And the lengths he goes to entertain her on house arrest are fucking hilarious.
They're awesome.
Dad of the year.
Grandma of the year.
Material. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
the world's greatest grandma.
Exactly. There we go. I just thought it was great. There was a lot of really good action in comparison to the last one. We, visited on that. One thing I think we probably, on the topic of action, there's Ghost, obviously, because most of the action was centered around her. We can get into our conversation about her and her as a villain. So you said, Ace, that she seemed just like a typical villain. And I can kind of get behind that just because her story, for me, was not a very powerful one. The situation she was in was fucking horrible. She's basically moving through multiple states of matter, so her cells are being torn apart repeatedly every day. That's fucking horrible. That's shitty. But it was less about her trying to solve her problem, more about her getting revenge, it seemed like a lot of the time. Because she fucking hated Hank because her dad worked with Hank, and he went and tried to do his own fucking thing because Hank ousted him from their project or whatever, and ended up getting himself killed. And, more Lawrence Fishburne's character. What was his character's name?
Goliath.
No, it's not his character. Stop calling him that. That was the code name of the project they were working on.
That's the name of the superhero, so that's what I'm gonna call it.
Oh my god. Anyway, Lawrence Fishburne basically finds this girl and raises her as his own, and promises to help turn her back to normal. And
One thing, can we get into real quick? I just want to mention how good they're getting at making them look young. He looked really fucking good, and so did other dude. What is his name?
What is his name?
Hank Pym, but Hank Pym looked really good when they were
Michael
young.
Douglas.
There we go. And they're doing that same thing with Samuel L. Jackson through all of Captain Marvel. Like, just looking back when they did that to Tony Stark, it's improved a shit ton.
Yeah, but that's because when they did it with Tony Stark, it was pretty much all CG. Like, the character, he wasn't even there.
I thought they did use him.
You're talking about when he was younger? Like, when he was in, like, college before his dad died?
Yeah.
I thought he was...
I mean, I think they still did the same thing, like put the green dots on his face. Same thing they do with Hulk.
Yeah, I know. I needed to... I was trying and it was not working. Maybe? I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that.
But continue.
Yeah, her motivations, like, I get trying to, like, get yourself out of that situation, but I think we can get past the revenge. Like, if it was just her trying to get to be better, I would have been okay with it. Then again, she wouldn't have been a villain in the first place, I don't think, if she wasn't, like, hell-bent on revenge. And, I mean, I guess it was less about the revenge for her, because if she wanted revenge, she would have killed Hank when she first fucking saw him. She could have easily. I mean, honestly, she could have killed any of them with ease, and that kind of annoyed me. But I get, like, that for the plot, you know, to let people not die immediately. But in, like, any situation, she could have fucking phased her hand through their fucking heart or their brain, and they would have died.
And I felt like it'd have been more powerful if she'd have at least killed off Pym.
Yeah.
More powerful for her as a villain, more powerful in her character development, more powerful from the story standpoint.
Right.
I think this is one of those times where you could have killed somebody off
And it would have been good.
and it would have been good.
Yeah. See, that because of the fact that in the end, like, she was totally okay with killing the mom, Pym's wife. What was the original Wasp? You remember her? Janet. She was completely and totally okay with killing Janet, knowing that, like, Janet had nothing to do with
anything.
Right. And she was okay with going after
Cassie.
Yeah, like, no question.
Yeah.
So
She was just a very conflicted villain.
right.
And I get it because she's misguided. She's, used as a weapon and all that shit.
Hashtag fuck Shield.
Hashtag
Most
fuck
of the
Shield.
time. But
It didn't work. And I really liked Ghost, like I said earlier. I really liked Ghost for the first half of the movie.
right.
And then as they started to break down her story, I liked her less. I didn't buy into her.
You liked her till you knew her?
I hope that I'm happy that she didn't die, and I'm happy that she didn't kill anybody off, because if she did kill somebody off, I feel like we would be stuck with a villain we didn't really like.
Right.
But now they have some room to work with this character.
They have room to save her and maybe reprogram her.
I think she'll do better as a hero than a villain.
Right. So I'm interested in seeing where that goes.
Speaking of villains, that fucking Southerner was so fucking shitty.
Oh my god.
I hated seeing him in the whole fucking movie. It just got annoying.
I love him as an actor.
He's a great actor.
And in just about everything that he's ever been in, I'm a fan of. Mm-hmm. His role in this movie was definitely too big.
Yeah, it was. When we first saw him, I was like, okay, and I was like, we knew that they were probably going to see each other again, just because he was like, oh, this isn't over. But I'm just like, how big of a role is he going to play? I mean, this is an interesting character for the 5 minutes we've seen him, but can we leave it alone now?
Yeah.
And we didn't. I mean, he was my Skeletor for this movie. That's what I'm going to do now. Anytime there's a character I wish there had been less involvement for, I'm just going to call him my Skeletor.
I like it. It works.
I enjoy
No,
that.
I'm not actually, because every time I say that, it reminds me of dudes.
Just
I
reminds
don't-
you of the horror of the movie.
Never mind. I'm taking that back. Yeah, but I think
The only thing good that came out of him was
knowing that he works for somebody.
no,
Yeah, but
the Indian dude with the truth serum
I couldn't even.
truth serum guy.
I don't
and
even.
his
I didn't even like
knowledge
the
of undercarriage cleaning.
I didn't even. Right, the undercarriage thing was hilarious for those people who don't know, because you're from like, California or fucking places where it doesn't snow. If you're gonna get a car wash, don't get a fucking undercarriage clean, because it's a waste of your time. It's not for you. It's for people who have road salt in Midwestern states. There's a hilarious joke about that in the movie. I mean, if you're listening to this point of the podcast, I hope you've seen the movie and heard the joke, but it's fucking hilarious. I didn't know about the road salt thing. I know about the road salt, but I didn't know about the undercarriage thing.
I don't know where the fuck to get an undercarriage cleaning.
Right.
Like every car wash I go through, there's no like undercarriage cleaning.
Well, I walked out of the theater. I was like, is my car just gonna fucking stop? Because like the salt is like eroded through shit under the bottom.
It could. I drove a 92 LeSabre years ago, and it was a great fucking car. I moved out to Fargo, North Dakota, by the Minnesota border there. And the salt that they use in the Minnesota side is just fucking ridiculous. Well, towards the end of that car's life, my entire back seat was held together by rust. So
I'm gonna get my shit checked out.
if I were to have that car and give you guys a ride and you were to sit in the back seat, there is a very good chance you would be dragging on the fucking road as we're driving.
I need to.
If the rust gave out, that's what would have happened.
I'm definitely gonna go find an undercarriage. Wait, my fucking
Yeah,
car.
but back to his fucking character, Sonny Burge. Who the fuck does this guy work for?
we don't know. We didn't even get a fucking hint.
No.
Someone who wants quantum shit. What you found out could be anything. They just put quantum in front of anything.
I don't know. I have no idea. I honestly don't want to dwell on it because, I mean, what are our options that we know of? People who would want
Cross Technologies or whatever. The company from the first one.
Yeah.
Hydra. Everyone. It's the leading science form.
It's like there's no speculation isn't going to help us.
Right.
Like, there's no real point. So I don't want to dwell on that.
But they didn't not even a hint though, unless I missed it.
We probably missed it.
I probably missed it. Probably one of those scenes where I was just like picturing choking out those dumb fucks sitting in front of me.
Oh, I'm going to say this
Well,
now.
that wasn't. Was that during Antman? No, that wasn't during Antman.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
The dumb fucks were in the Purge.
Oh, it was the Purge, wasn't it? God damn it.
Yeah.
Man.
You're just not paying attention.
Well, anyway, I'm going to say this now because if it happens, I want it on record. It's probably not going to happen, right? But I told Ace as we sat down for the movie, I looked over and was like, I swear to God, if the rest of the Avengers are in the fucking quantum realm, I'm going to be pissed. Like, I'm going to be so pissed.
But they're in the Soul Stone.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
I still think they're in the Soul Stone.
No, they probably
And
are.
I think that the quantum realm is what's going to be used as a time travel device.
Yeah, from that time vortex she was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole quantum realm is just fucking wonky. Like, I mean, he's fucking stuck there, and we don't really know much about it aside from the fact that he's been there, Hank's been there, Janet's been there. Janet evolved as a human being
Right.
while she was in there, and we really don't know what that means aside from the fact that she can stop people from like phasing and shit.
That was why I thought it was really shitty that she
Disappeared.
disappeared.
Yeah, I thought
but
she was going to be like immune somehow.
it depends on how they show, like, in Avengers 4, what the fuck is going on with all these people.
Right.
Like, do they all see each other in the Soul Stone? Are they individualized? I don't know. But we'll get some answers, I think.
And like, how are they going to get him out of the quantum realm? Like, we talked about this, you know, the question is whether or not he can do what he did the first time and just grow back out of it.
I feel like that's probably the route they're going to end up taking. Is that?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
And we don't know who is still alive in his, like, little area, like, that would know about him, because really the only person who might know that he's in there is fucking Ghost and Lawrence Fishburne.
Right, and those two and maybe his drum playing ant buddy would, you know, be able to help him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I'm kind of annoyed by that after credit scene.
The very end one?
Yeah, because we get
I was very annoyed
a
with it.
bunch of, like, normally we get, like, little teasers or
Right.
something, but this was just confirming something we already kind of knew. People disappeared, and they were part of those people.
Right.
So that was kind of annoying.
It was the very end one that really annoyed me the most, though.
Yeah. That one.
I mean, there was nothing. You know, it was kind of pointless to sit through and wait.
One thing that I think it is good that they showed that these guys got taken, because I think if there's anyone who can get them out of the Soul Stone, it's gonna be those
Janet. Definitely Hank.
two.
Hope's
Hank
pretty
and
smart.
Janet. They're fucking geniuses with crazy shit.
Yeah.
And,
I'm
with help from Doctor Strange.
I'm really fucking excited for the next 2 Marvel movies next year.
Yeah.
MCU Marvel movies, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, the very end of the credits, that was annoying as fuck to see. It was a waste of time.
It was a waste of time.
It was an unnamed ant. This ant wasn't even special enough to get a name that we know of. He's just sitting there playing the fucking drums. Like,
We saw him do it earlier in the movie, so I don't know.
We saw it in the trailer.
Well, that too, but I mean, I just don't know what's the relevance of that ant still playing the drums.
And the beat goes on.
You know, I don't know. I just thought it was annoying. It was kind of a waste of time.
It was. It was shitty. They knew everyone was going to be waiting. It wasn't funny.
If they would have flipped the two and that would have just been like the mid credit scene,
right?
I'd have been okay with that. You know, here he is. He's still just playing the drums. Like, okay, cool. You know, ha 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 ha. And then go to the end one where, you know, they launch him into the fucking quantum realm, and then, you know, they're counting down, and then all of a sudden, like, poof, they're gone.
I mean, at least with other credit scenes that were semi-useless, that were funny. Like the Avengers going for fucking, what was it, like shawarma or shit?
Yeah, that one was funny.
That was
Yeah.
funny. Fucking Captain America.
Even Deadpool. The Deadpool one was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck are you guys still doing here?
Right.
Right.
Or the Captain
over.
America one where he like comes in, he's like, so sometimes in life we wait for things and we're just disappointed. Like, he goes through that whole thing. Like that I enjoyed those.
That was funny.
This was just a waste of my time.
Right. I really think they should have just flipped the two and it'd have been just fine. I really do.
Yeah, fuck you guys. Thanos will make you pay.
Lord Thanos.
How are you gonna feel when they write Thanos away? Because they can do that.
They won't. They will beat him. They're not going to kill him.
Thanos is a bitch. There's so many people who beat him. Like, Doom would beat the fuck out of Thanos. Anyway.
Who's beating him now in the movies? We're talking about MCU one right here.
They can't
the power
even
scaling
get
is
Doom
going up,
right.
So, I know.
I'm going to tell you this. Thor didn't do shit to him.
Thor, really?
Put an axe in his chest, and he was like, you should have aimed
That
higher,
literally
bitch.
would have killed him if he didn't have the gauntlet on. If they went one-on-one without the gauntlet, that would have killed him.
No,
And they
because
both
if you're
do
going to
that.
take the gauntlet away, you got to take the fucking axe away.
Truth.
No, because the fact is,
Truth.
Thanos...
You can't take one weapon away and then not take the other one up.
That's not true, because Thanos has conquered planets without the fucking Well, he has armies and shit.
So is Thor. They both have. You take both of those weapons away, put them against each other. You know, you can give Thor his hammer, not this fucking beautiful axe.
Well, with the fucking hammer, he still would have smacked his ass too.
Oh, no, he wouldn't have.
Yes, he would have. And the only reason you think, why do you say he wouldn't have?
Because Thanos was whooping the Hulk's ass, and Thor wasn't whooping the Hulk's ass.
The fact is, Thor doesn't need to beat the Hulk's ass. It's a mismatch. First off, Thanos.
And let me tell you something. Thanos whooped a well-groomed Hulk's ass. like a Hulk that's been the Hulk for a minute now. That's been fucking training as the Hulk. Who's been fucking in the Coliseum whooping
Very
ass.
true. Very true. It wasn't like he just beat some rookie
He didn't
Hulk's
beat the
ass.
Hulk from the Avengers 1 that Thor couldn't.
So, I'd just like to note that Thor, without his hammer, could beat the same Hulk and fought him to a draw in Ragnarok.
He did.
Without his hammer.
To a draw.
With his hammer, he would have beat the jack shit out of the fucking Hulk.
And all I'm saying is with 2 stones?
I
Was
saw
it 2?
Hulk win that. Even Hulk saw that Hulk won.
Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here.
But was it 2
And they
stones that he
fucking,
had
and they,
when he whooped
as
his
a
ass?
matter of fact, he won that fight because they cheated for him. So Thor, without his hammer, still beat fucking Hulk.
Can someone answer my question?
Sorry.
How many Infinity Stones did he have when he beat the Hulk in like 3 hits?
It wasn't 3 hits.
He
It
had,
was like a long fucking.
I think he only had 3 at the time, didn't he? Or was it 2 and then he got the third?
He had 2.
third. Yeah,
And then he got the third from the Tesseract.
but we're taking away the gauntlet. So without the gauntlet,
He would have still whooped his ass like
He
that.
would not-
That was no gauntlet power that he used.
exactly. So why did you bring up the gauntlet?
So what I'm saying is
Thor, without his hammer, would have beat.
would have got his ass whooped.
No,
Without his hammer, 1-on-1, both of them just go with their fist. Thor's getting his ass dropped.
no. Number one, and also you said he could use the hammer.
Now with his hammer, still getting his ass
No,
dropped.
he's not.
Thanos is catching that shit, bruh.
He doesn't need the fucking catch. He doesn't. He didn't really need the hammer after that point.
This is either here nor there right now.
Anyway,
We are off track.
Stormbreaker, right?
yeah, that's the axe. Hammer's Mjolnir.
But Michael Pena, fucking hilarious in this.
He was absolutely. He's always hilarious. I think that's just a given with him at this point. Like, I mean, yeah, we said we said he never really gets more time and he doesn't need it. But
I loved his like fucking ace break type shit that he did when they.
oh man, he's telling the story. He's like, oh my god.
I can't even repeat it. I feel like I'd butcher it, and I feel like
Yeah.
if any of us repeat it, we'll butcher it.
Yeah, we're not.
When he
going-
tells the story about how him and fucking oh fuck, what is his name? How am I forgetting his name? Scott.
Scott?
Yeah, how him and Scott meet.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah. When they ask, he's like, where is Scott? He's like, well, he just goes off like on this whole fucking.
And then what was the fucking ghost name?
I don't even remember what he called her.
Baba.
Oh, Baba Yaga, yeah.
Baba Yaga. That shit was fucking hilarious. They were funny, except really T.I. wasn't that funny.
Yeah, I was like, can we not? T.I., go home. You got money.
I mean, T.I. was in the first one, so he had to be in this one.
He didn't have to. They could have let him.
They
go.
couldn't replace another nigga. Like, Marvel does not want that to be their problem of them replacing niggas.
Oh. Anyway, no, he was hilarious. I just him and that fucking Pez. I actually thought he was gonna be kind of mad that they lost that Pez, because he was like really happy about having that Pez, and then they just threw it at a fucking motorcycle, giant size. It's like, oh, you just got Pezzed.
I feel like he was piped up,
Right.
Like, part of that movie. Like, I know that truth serum made him tell the truth, but like, it couldn't have all been truth serum.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about this. Like, once they gave him like the Hot Wheels case, and he's like, he got in another car. I was like, is he gonna get involved enough that where we give him like a role as a hero somehow at some point? Because I know I thought it was hilarious when he's sitting there. He's like, I love your suit. She's like, oh, thanks, dude. And he's like, yeah, I like a suit too. I mean, maybe not even one with powers, just like a suit.
Now he's like, if you could just give me one with like minimal powers, that would be cool. I'd even take a suit without powers. It just looks cool.
Right. Oh man, she was hilarious.
They gave him the perfect amount of screen time.
They did.
They gave him the right amount of lines. They let him have his. He's just awesome. I can't say it enough. I loved him.
You sound like a little kid right there.
Awesome. Oh, fucking little kids. When they shrunk Paul Rudd, that shit was hilarious.
That shit was great.
Oh man, it was just that was hilarious, but it was weird too. Like weird.
It bugged me out the way like his body looked.
Body just was not proportionate to that of a child's, and anybody who believed that he looked like a child was stupid to me. Like the teacher, he's like, "Hey, where's your hall pass?"
I feel like his body was like a toddler.
Yeah, like it was too small to be like a normal kid's. No, it was.
It was I think you said it when you said it was the clean version of like Deadpool 2.
Yeah,
And
the
the baby
Deadpool
legs.
baby legs.
With the Deadpool baby legs.
But yeah, I really thought it was a good movie.
I enjoyed it.
Thought it was better than the first one.
I do. I think it was better than the first.
I think it was better than the first one too.
What did you guys? I don't know. What would you rate? Like Netflix movies?
Oh, go see this motherfucker now and then
Yeah,
buy it
go
when it comes
see it.
out.
Absolutely.
Just
double
definitely,
check.
there's a lot to enjoy. Wasp is great in it. She's fucking hot.
Evangeline Lilly was fucking terrific.
I think the only thing that was kind of annoying to me is that she didn't get like a big reveal as Wasp. Like we got her like in the fight scene with the bodyguards, but like I just like, hey, we know this is happening. Give her some time to shine real quick, and then we continue on. But it was just like right into it. It's nitpicky, but
I don't think she really needed a big reveal. Like,
I think they could have done something with that though. I mean, having her name on the title of the movie, I mean,
Right.
she kind of deserved a little bit more than she got. But she kicked ass in all of her scenes,
Absolutely.
man.
I think she like that was her intro scene, and she was kicking a bunch of ass. That's kind of how they do everybody's big reveal.
I mean, Peter, like when he showed up in Infinity War, we got hey guys, and then we
Civil
fought.
War, you mean?
Did I say Civil War?
You
Or
said
did I say
Infinity War.
Yeah, in Civil War, and then we fought. We take a second. Give
I
her a
mean,
little
hers
time to
was
shine.
like, you kind of already knew she was a badass.
right.
Like, this isn't the intro to her character. That was the intro to his character. So, there's a difference in that.
I guess that makes sense.
Like, you've seen her before. You knew she could fight. You knew she was kind of like a hard fucking badass.
Bless you.
Bless you. Thanos' blesses.
Anyway, one thing I did want to that was hilarious to me is when when Luis was telling the story, the fact that everybody was talking like him when he was telling this. Yeah, that shit was hilarious to me. Just their mannerisms in that whole scene. It
was amazing.
Great. But yeah, really love the movie.
Go
I
see
should
it.
definitely go see
Go
Go
it.
see it.
see
Don't
it.
go see Purge.
Fuck.
Skip Purge. You'll be fine.
I'm hoping I can forget it as quickly as possible.
Truly disappointing movie. Even with minimal expectations. All right. Well, this has been Movies for the People. Until next time, I assure you, you would have a better time trapped in the quantum realm than you would seeing the first Purge. Droid, I don't feel so well.
Con?
Ace?
What are you doing?
Ace? Droid? Ace?